Hello, Assalamualaikum, and welcome back to One United. You are here with me, Kira, on the match reaction for our UEFA Champions League match against RB Leipzig, played at Old Trafford this morning, local Malaysian time. And it's a good thing that it was a holiday. It is a holiday today, so that I was able to enjoy the game. And God, I really do enjoy the game. So today I'm switching over with more on giving you my personal match reaction to that game. So today I've prepared some key talking points for us to share on with you. Let me know whether my points is agreeable with you guys, or maybe you guys have other points that I may have missed, or maybe you guys want to add in to more points, or maybe change a little bit of my points. But hit me up in the comments. I'll read it through and probably deliberate on it on our next video. Right. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go back to the talking points. So as we all know, we won 5-0 against Leipzig at Old Trafford. Finally, a really convincing win at Old Trafford. So for that, I give you 5 points for my key talking points today in part of the match reaction. So first of all, I would like to talk about tactics and maturity in our gameplay. Secondly, I would like to talk about the depth of the bench. Third is the clinicality. I'm not sure whether there is a word for it, but yeah. And then number 4 is redemption, in so many ways. And number 5, of course, winning back at OT in style. Alright, so the first point. Let us talk about the tactics and maturity. So when we say about tactics maturity, let me just share with you what is it that we had for our tactics last night. Let me just share with you our tactics board. So in our lineup, we were playing a 4-1-2-1-2 kind of formation with our standard back 4 was Wan Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw. Backed by Matic on defensive midfield duties, and then we have Fred and Pogba as the 2 pivot of the diamond, Van der Beek at the tip, and then we have Greenwood and Martial as the strikers. So when I first looked at this lineup, I was thinking that we would be having a very hard game, but then I was proven wrong, and I was very happy with this lineup, honestly speaking, especially in the first half. So, but if you remember in my talking points just now, I mentioned that I was talking about not only the tactics but also the maturity. And why is that? If you notice, the back 4 that we have for this game is the same back 4 that we had against Spurs. So we were. Well, what's the difference between when we were fighting against Spurs and we were fighting against Leipzig? Not much, really. They technically play the same gameplay, high pressing, low through balls, quick playing kind of game. But I guess the maturity that we have here is the way we approach our defense. In against Spurs, I would say that we were too eager to get the ball and we lose our shape. But in our game against Leipzig, we were more mature in our gameplay, and we do not allow Leipzig any space to run into by maintaining our shape. And this really helped the team in concentrating on their football. and I do not know exactly what happened after the Spurs game, but I was very happy in a way that we have matured our gameplay from there on. We have had 2 wins and a draw in our matches after the mounding by Spurs, and even that draw against Chelsea was a very very unfortunate miss for us. We could have gotten something out of it. But again, coming back to the main point, the first key talking point, when we have that maturity, we were more we were better in terms of our defense in such a way that we do not allow ourselves to deviate from our game plan, and that has really really uh, improved our gameplay throughout the whole game. In fact, it also shows that we finally understand how we want to play. The first half we were playing a little bit on the counter. We were unfortunately still unable to get quick counters after getting the ball at our own half. But we were better when we intercepted balls slightly in the half of our half, and that is in no particular um that it was a very superb performance by Fred in order to do so. So again, we in allowing a certain shape to be maintained throughout our defense, we were finally able to use Fred as a very effective marker and a ball player, and he was also able to read the game very effectively, enabling him to actually get quite a few key interceptions that immediately changes into attacks for us. So that maturity really really helped us. Although I have to say that discipline also affected our attacks a little bit, as we can see in the first half when the bike was not really shining in his role as number 10. But nonetheless, he did the job. He did he did his job as expected by the manager, and he has managed to maintain the team's ability to retain the ball, especially towards the end of the first half. So yeah, that is the first maturity. And what happens next in combination with my other point? Let me just go back to that point. Those points, yeah. So combined with number two, which is the depth of the bench, we were we were able to change our tactics and up our tempo when we needed to, because in earlier on in the second half we were very terribly pressed again by Leipzig, because it was just a 1 goal difference, and Leipzig believe that they can get back into the game. In fact, I think they even have the belief of winning the game. But then, the depth of our bench right now, the depth of our attacking prowess, enable us to actually up the tempo and counter back Leipzig in ways that they do not think we were able to do. It started first with us trying to maintain our defensive shape by switching McTominay and Matic, so that we could have a little bit more engine at the back, and also thinking about, and then when we believe that Leipzig was slowly getting tired out by their constant pressure, we immediately put in Bruno, Rashford, and Cavani to actually increase our ability to attack and increase our tempo of the game. And that's where we finally see how we slowly dismantle Leipzig's defense, going into number three, which is the clinicality of Rashford's finishing. So as we can see, immediately after we introduced Rashford and Bruno, they started to up the tempo. They started to change the rhythm of the game in ways that Leipzig did not think we were able to do, and that captured them off guard. And it started with Rashford's first goal of the night, and it ended up with Rashford having a hat trick. So the and not only that, this also shows that the combination of number one and number two of my key talking points here, I believe, have allowed me to actually say that we have redeemed ourselves at Old Trafford for now. Let's hope that we can maintain this momentum and this discipline going on to our future matches, especially our next match against Arsenal. But talking about redemption, as a team itself, we were good. But I have to also say that uh, redemption by individual players were also great here. We finally see Martial doing things that he had done last season. He was pressing the defense very industriously, even managing to get back the balls for a quick counter attacks, and winning key dead ball situations, allowing us to get free kicks and penalties. So that was a redemption for Martial finally, after Maguire and Wan-Bissaka themselves have redeemed themselves in the past few games. Also, I have to say that um, it is a redemption by the whole team in such a way that maybe after the wake up call from that loss by Spurs, so we are finally getting our heads into the game. We no longer see Maguire slumping. We no longer see Lindelof actually getting angry at his teammates. He's more focused on the game, and we finally see Wan-Bissaka doing actual defending for the past 3 games. Actual good defending, I would say, for the past 3 games. So it's a redemption on the team all around. And also, I forgot to mention that Tuan Zibi was also taken into the game to replace Wan-Bissaka. That also shows that we finally have a good option in case we want to rest Bisaka for Wan-Bissaka for our next matches. That's a good thing. That's very great. Yeah. So yeah, final point: winning back at OT in style, especially with Rashford scoring a hat trick. And I believe it has been so long since I saw a hat trick Old Trafford scored by our own player. So congratulations to Marcus for that. I certainly hope that this is a catalyst for him to be better, as we have seen how he can be better than most. I also have to say that we have yet to fully see Cavani's ability on the field, but he has shown he does have that you know uh, the finishing ability better than most strikers that we have. We also see Greenwood being clinical. We also see Martial being critical. So clinical. So yeah, overall a very good game for me. So as for the rating, I would say that as a team, as a whole, I would like to give them a full flat 8 out of 10, including Oli, of course, for his gameplay, and for the team's whole effort to win this game with such a high margin. Individually though, I would rate. Let's start with De Gea from the back. From De Gea, I would rate De Gea as 7.5 for his two great saves in match, which came at a critical point where when Leipzig was still able to get back into the game if we had allowed those goals in. So I congratulate De Gea for his superb saves, and there was the same performance that he carried on from last two games previously. As for our back four, I have to say Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw each deserves a 7 for their defensive performance. We have seen both Lindelof and Maguire, especially being able to be able to properly communicate with each other. And Wan-Bissaka, I have to give him a 7.5 because he was able to make a few key interceptions and tackles in the box and managed to actually do a proper defensive duty this time around. Hopefully he'll maintain it. So and then when we go up a little bit further, Matic, unfortunately he got a yellow card for a silly hand to the face kind of thing. Not really his fault, but overall he has a comfortable game. Nothing much out of the ordinary from him. He did make a good tackle to deny Leipzig on a chance on goal. So overall, I'll give him 7. And then up front, Fred and Pogba for the starters. Pogba had 1 assist, and he plays it cool. Finally, we were able to see the cool Pogba. No, hanky panky Pogba. So for Pogba, I'll give him 7.5. For Fred, yeah, Fred was the outstanding performer. Personally, I would say Fred is my man of the match for this match. He made a few critical interceptions that allowed us to counter Leipzig, and he also made few tackles that actually disrupted Leipzig's momentum. And although it was a cynical tackle, I mentioned this in a separate video in Malay, saying that we need someone like Roy Keane who make those cynical tackles but not getting a card, because then you would have you will get suspended and whatnot. And he made those. He was superb. So for Fred, I will give him a 9.5. He did not. I believe he did not have an assist. I need to check back on the statistics, but nonetheless, his industrious performance makes him very good. Makes me want to give him a very good rating of 9.5. And then on the substitutions on the midfield area, let's just maintain on the midfield area first. McTominay had just a normal game, nothing much from him, so a 7. Oh, and I also forgot about Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe also had I would say nothing much to do, because once both McTominay and Tuanzebe was introduced to the match, we were already thinking of changing the tempo and focusing on attack. So both of them had a rather quiet game once they were brought in. So also a 7 for Tuanzebe. And then we go up, Van der Beek. Okay, Van der Beek, unfortunately, this is not a game for him to remember, but not a game for him to forget as well. Because I think this is what Ole has been saying about Donny having to need to have time to gel in with his teammates. He did make a few good runs. In fact, he almost scored a goal if it hadn't been for the ball being behind him. He unfortunately when it comes to his ability to actually link up with his teammates, there was still probably some miscommunication there. So all in all, I would give him just 7 there. And then his replacement, Bruno Fernandes. Okay, we have always said how Bruno, when he plays for Manchester United, always plays those high risk, high reward, high profile passes. And when he came in, exactly at the time when we wanted to change the tempo of the game, we wanted to change our approach of the game, it was perfect. And he did have an assist in the game. Sorry, I'm not sure whether is it an assist or 2 assists. I need to check back. But he did have assists in the game. So he was doing what he always did, and that gives him a 8.5. It matches with the change in the gameplay that we were doing. So that's why he got that high rating. Going further up front, Greenwood and Martial. So like I was saying, was a redemption match for Martial after two bad games. Sorry, after one bad. I mean, he wasn't really particularly good against PSG, but this was a very good match for him. So I would say that Martial deserves an 8.5 here. Although Greenwood did score the opening goal, he does not make anything spectacular afterwards. He did make a few more attempts, but other than that, I think he has a rather quiet game together with Tony. So unfortunately for him, I will only give him a 7.5. And their replacements, Cavani and Rashford. For Rashford, I will give him a 10 for his particular hat-trick, but unfortunately he's not my man of the match. He did get the match ball, but for his achievement, but all in all, because the game at the time suited his gameplay, and his link up with Bruno was superb, and he was sharp. So yeah, congratulations on Marcus on those 3 goals. Hopefully he can emulate it in future matches. A 10, big 10 for me. And Cavani, well, he he hasn't made that impact as we expected yet, because he hasn't been given enough game time. But I have to say that if it wasn't for Bruno's slightly slow decision making, Cavani will have been able to open up his account for this season. And furthermore, if you actually look at how he scored that goal, it was effortless. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, it wasn't a goal, but you can see that he was smiling at Bruno, saying that, well, it was unfortunate, but all in all, I say that he's enjoying life at Old Trafford. But he did nothing much, so I'll give him 7. For this match, right? So that's all for me. Unfortunately, this is a bit long. This is a bit long video. And I'll try to improve my presentation format so that I can talk more about the tactics and about the analysis that we had throughout the match. If there is anything you guys want to add in to my key talking points, like I mentioned just now, hit me up in the comments below. We'll pick it up and we'll dissect it together. I'll dissect it together with Mo and Zoro in our next video. We really want to hear from you, so don't forget to comment down below just anything about the match, or about my about my match reaction and my key talking points. Anything, hit me up down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video as well. And I'll see you in the next match reaction or video. Thanks.